Doing today. Hotep, hey, this is Michael. I'm Hotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, writer, and historian. And we want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Happy holidays. And a lot of people have been asking how can they advertise with the African History Network. And we just brought on a few new advertisers. So I want to let you know how you can start 2022 off right and advertise your African American owned business with the African History Network. Okay, so we reach thousands of people on a daily basis, and you can advertise on my show when we rebroadcast the African History Network show on our social media platforms. But we're also on 10 different audio podcast platforms as well. Okay, everything from iHeartRadio to FM Player, TuneIn, Castbox, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio. So our current promotion right now for a very limited time only is buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Buy 1 month, get 2 months free. All right. And we take your 30-second and 60-second commercial. We put into the audio podcast of our shows. We also put into the rebroadcast of our shows as well. We rebroadcast my shows throughout the day. And also into the audio podcast of the shows. We can create a commercial for you if you don't have one, or you can submit one to us as well. Email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. Email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com for more information. And we have a deep, rich history in cooperative economics as well. We're going to talk about that some also. So regardless of what type of business you have, you may have a e-commerce business, you may have a brick and mortar business, you may sell African cultural products, African garb, books, soaps, different things like this, African American clothing, etc. Health and beauty products are really big. Clothing, shoes, African garb. You may be a book author, okay, or you may sell books, especially African history books, African American history books. It could be African American books that are fiction, but something that's really big are books for children, positive books for children that show positive images of African Americans. You may have a educational business. You may do homeschooling or produce curriculums or courses or teach financial literacy, things like this. Okay. So you want to advertise with the African History Network. Email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com, ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. And we'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. Our current promotion is buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Also, African American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast as well. Okay. So we have a deep, rich history of cooperative economics. All right. And we know that the fourth principle of Kwanzaa is Ujamaa, which means cooperative economics. But a lot of people don't know the history that African Americans have dealing with the co-ops and cooperative economics. There's a good book from Dr. Jessica Gordon Nimhard, Collective Courage, that deals with the history, a deep, rich history that we have with co-ops. And Collective Courage, a history of African American cooperative economic thought and practice. Okay. And I interviewed her back in 2014. And there's also a good article from AtlantaBlackStar.com that talks about this. So we're going to deal with a little bit of the history of African Americans engaged in cooperative economics as well. Now, the Black cooperative movement has always been parallel to the Black liberation movements and civil rights movements. We've mostly heard about the political side of the movement, but you can't name a major Black political leader that did not point to cooperatives as a path to freedom. Whether you're talking about Dr. King, Malcolm X, Dr. W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, we know the Colored Merchants Association, which we'll talk about in a minute, comes out of the National Negro Business League. Okay. All right. Now, if we look at this here, now Dr. W.B. Du Bois in 1935 said, there exists today a chance for blacks to organize a cooperative state within their own group by letting Negro farmers feed Negro artisans and Negro technicians, guide black home industries, and black thinkers plan this integration of cooperation, while black artists dramatize and beautify the struggle. Economic independence can be achieved. To doubt that this is possible is to doubt the essential humanity and the equality of brains of black people. All right. So when we look at our history, you could read Before the Mayflower by Lerone Bennett Jr., but Collective Courage is a really good book that focuses on history and entrepreneurship and specifically the cooperatives. And the concept of the cooperatives are principles we brought with us from Africa, okay, especially West Africa. There's a good article from AtlantaBlackStar.com that deals with 5 historic examples of cooperative economics that advance the black community. One of them, they talk about the Susu system, okay, which we see popular in West Africa and the Caribbean. And in parts of West Africa and the Caribbean, an ancient version of cooperative economics exists called Susu. As one of the oldest forms of microfinance in Africa, the practice is run by one of Africa's oldest financial groups, known as Susu collectors. They run their businesses from kiosks in the marketplace and act as mobile bankers. Clients make low but regular deposits on a daily or weekly basis over the course of a month into a Susu account. At the end of this period, the Susu collector returns the accumulated savings to the client, but keeps one day's savings as commission. Now, Susu collectors may also provide advances to their clients or rotate the accumulated deposits of a group between individual members. Today, Susu collectors provide many West Africans who would otherwise be denied credit with access to money they need to start up small venture projects that in many cases benefit the community as a whole. In the United States, Black immigrants from the Caribbean have enjoyed one of the highest economic growth rates using a form of the Susu and leveraging this practice to establish successful credit unions. And a credit union is one of the most well-known forms of a co-op, because with the credit unions, the people who have accounts with the credit unions are also owners. They're part owners of it as well. All right. Now, African-American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast, and we'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. We have low-cost ways to help you market your business and reach thousands of new customers each week. And our current promotion is buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Okay, buy 1 month, get 2 months free. That's only for a limited time only while we have inventory, while we have space available. And I can create a commercial for you. If you don't have one, we take your 30-second to 60-second commercial, put it into the rebroadcast of my shows. My shows on Monday through Friday, 11 p.m., normally 11 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time, and we rebroadcast the shows throughout the day. And then also on Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So your commercial will be in the rebroadcast of our shows, but also in the audio podcast of our shows, also on 10 different audio podcast platforms, including Facebook podcasts. So they get uploaded. The audio podcast gets uploaded to our Facebook fan page here, the African History Network. We're on iHeartRadio, Castbox, FM Player, TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, a number of different audio podcast platforms as well. So email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com, ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. And we'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. We can get your business up and running today. All right, now if we look some more at the co-ops in our history of cooperative economics, and it may be a co-op that you want to promote. Your business may sell African jewelry. You may have a fitness website, maybe a personal trainer, or sell fitness equipment. It may be an event coming up that you want to promote, a conference, seminars, etc. You definitely want to advertise with the African History Network. But when we look at some more at our history with cooperative economics, one of the early co-ops was the Free African Society. The Free African Society, founded in 1787 by Richard Allen and Absalom Jones. Okay, and oftentimes, if you go to business school, and I graduated from Wayne State's business school back in the 1990s, we learned, white business principles, but we didn't learn about the co-ops. Now, I was studying African history at the same time and reading Dr. Jawanza Kajufu, Black Economics, and studying some other information. But in our classes, we didn't learn really about the co-ops and the deep, rich history that African Americans have in cooperative economics. Also, we were taught white business principles. Now, in 1787, Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, who were prominent African American ministers in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, formed the Free African Society. Now, this is 1787, and we're using the term African. They formed the Free African Society of Philadelphia, which is a mutual aid and religious organization. And this is another type of co-op that we had. And there were cooperatives that we had that were designed to raise money to buy people out of slavery. Okay, there were cooperatives that we had that raised money to bury people when they died. Now, the organization, the Free African Society, function as both a mutual aid society and a club, where members of Philadelphia's African American elite could socialize and forge business relationships with one another. Now, by 1794, the society had become large enough to accomplish its original goal when members built their own house of worship. It was called St. Thomas African Episcopal Church. Now, in addition to the church providing assistance to the sick and widowed, and the Free African Society providing assistance to the sick and widowed and orphaned members of Philadelphia's African American community, the Free African Society also extended its help to the city at large. The society's most famous contribution to the city of Philadelphia was the help members provided during the yellow fever epidemic in 1793, which killed thousands of Philadelphians. Now, blackpast.org has some really good information there dealing with the Free African Society. Okay, and this is one of the institutions that we put in place to help empower African Americans and help fight against white supremacy and racism. So we have a deep, rich history of this and leveraging our economics to push our agendas and even push political agendas also. All right, now another example of co-ops that we had. Now, this is the Colored Merchants Association. This is this is one of my favorite ones because this came out of the Negro Business League, the National Negro Business League, the Colored Merchants Association. And this was, you see Booker T. Washington there in the middle, in the front row. And this was designed to help African American grocery store owners better compete against the white chain stores, the Kresge's and A&P's, Woolworth, things like this. Okay, so in 1928, the National Negro Business League of Montgomery, Alabama, established the Colored Merchants Association, the CMA, the Colored Merchants Association, which was a cooperative organization of African American grocery stores. And one of the most popular types of businesses that we owned back at this time, late 1880s, 1890s, early 1900s, were grocery stores, but then also funeral homes and life insurance companies. Okay, because you have to eat, you're gonna die, and you're going to need some life insurance, burial insurance, etc. Okay, so this, or the Colored Merchants Association, which is really not talked about a lot, came out of the National Negro Business League, which was founded by Booker T. Washington in 1900. And so the National Negro Business League established the Colored Merchants Association, the CMA, which was a cooperative organization of African American grocery stores. The purpose of the organization was to reduce the operating costs of Black retailers through mutual support. Reduce the operating costs of Black retailers through mutual support, cooperative buying, and collective marketing. So being able to buy in larger quantities, get economies of scale, get a lower price, pull resources together, have collective marketing so they can get better rates when they market in newspapers or different things like this. Okay. And this was designed to help these African-American grocery stores better compete against the larger white-owned chain stores. And this was taking place in a harsh market dominated by white-owned chain stores. The Colored Merchants Association model, the Colored Merchant Association's model, was markedly successful. Associated stores reported increases in business and profits. Now, the association spread to nearly 18 cities, including Chicago, Philadelphia, Nashville, Dallas, and New York. The Colored Merchants Association built its national headquarters in New York City in October 1929. Chapters were organized in cities with 10 or more stores. Now, the members of the Colored Merchants Association paid $5 per month per store and were required to meet designated standards. By 1930, 253 stores were part of the CMA network. So these are African-American owned grocery stores that are in this organization designed to help them to better compete. Okay. Now, if you all are, one, African-American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast. Two, if you're a member of a cooperative, especially a food co-op. Now, here in the Detroit area, we have Black Food Security Network. Okay. But if you're a member of a co-op, especially a food co-op or something like that, or a co-op, cooperative grocery store, post the name of that as well. All right, let's continue here. So members of the Colored Merchants Association receive support services from the association, such as intensive training in merchandising techniques, sales training, advertising, and management resources, such as market analysis, inventory, and bookkeeping systems, and collection and credit procedures. Now, these are some things that hopefully the Black Chamber of Commerce in your city is doing. If not, maybe you all can in that city create an African American Chamber of Commerce that addresses some of these issues. But these are some things that I know in some cities the Black Chambers of Commerce are trying to address, but they need support as well. Now, another cooperative, and this was probably one of the largest ones. This one, the Colored Farmers National Alliance and Cooperative Union, founded in 1886 in Texas. This one grew to about 1.2 million members. Okay, this one grew to about 1.2 million members. And when I get to there's a good article from Vice.com that deals with how Black co-ops can fight institutional racism, because this is how one of the ways historically, economically, we fought against white supremacy and racism through the cooperatives. And largely, this has been something that has not been taught in our history. And a lot of, African Americans go to business schools, they go to white business schools, predominantly white institutions, or they may go to business schools at some HBCUs and learn white business principles and don't learn this type of information. Okay. So what happens is a lot of these co-ops had to disband because they got threats from white people. They got threats from white supremacists. Members were attacked, beaten, killed, etc. So a lot of these co-ops had to disband just to save people's lives. Okay. Now, the Colored Farmers National Alliance and Cooperative Union, the CFACU, was founded in 1886. And in Texas. Now, despite the fact that both African American and white farmers faced great difficulties, due to the rising price of farming and the decreasing profits that were coming from farming. Okay, the protective organization known as the Southern Farmers Alliance did not allow African American farmers to join. So you had a group of African American farmers who got together and decided to organize their own alliance to fill their need. Okay, and they call it the Colored Farmers National Alliance and Cooperative Union. Now, the CFACU operated under fear and harassment by white farmers, but managed to operate several cooperatives in the late 19th century before having to disband, because they were getting death threats and being attacked. Now, members of the CFACU shared agricultural techniques and innovations and coordinated cooperative efforts for planting and harvesting. The union promoted alliances between farmers and laborers and was active in local and regional politics in order to maintain rights for African Americans after Reconstruction. Now, Reconstruction is 1865 to 1877, and I teach a class usually on Saturdays from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement of Black Power, 1865 to 1968. Now, it's estimated that the Colored Farmers National Alliance and Cooperative Union had 1.2 million members and was the largest Black organization of its time. Okay, they grew to 1.2 million members, but you know, they had to disband, and you're going to see this oftentimes where you have these organizations that are being attacked by white supremacists. Okay, not able to join white unions, not able to join white organizations, but then they get attacked by white supremacists when they become prosperous and organized amongst themselves. Now, this is if you see some of my lectures, you hear me talk about the pyramid principle that two of my teachers, Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor James Small, teach about. And, you know, the foundation of the pyramid is African history and culture, which gives us our VIPs. It gives us our values, our interests, and our principles. And this influences the two sides of the pyramid, our economic empowerment and political empowerment, but it also influences how we engage in economics. Okay, do we take white business principles and dress them up in red, black, and green? Okay, or do we operate based upon cultural business principles and cultural ways of doing business and cultural ways of structuring businesses? Okay, and this is something that the cooperatives teach us. And once again, like I said, these are principles we brought with us from Africa. Okay, so the foundation of the pyramid is African history and culture. It's our history and culture that gives us our values, our interests, and our principles, our VIPs. This gives us a cultural paradigm that we see reality through. And one side of the pyramid is our economic empowerment. The other side is the political empowerment. And we have to have a synthesis of all of these sides as well. We have to have a synthesis of all three of these, not just one. And when we look at all the great African civilizations that many people like to talk about, whether we talk about ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, whether we talk about Nubia, Ta-Nehisi, Abyssinia, Songhai, Mali, Songhai, Great Zimbabwe, Ghana, things like this. When you study those societies, they have some type of economic system. Okay, they're going to have some type of bartering, some type of trade, some type of monetary system. They're going to have some type of marketplace also. Okay, they're going to have some type of bartering system, some type of monetary system, whether it's gold, whether it's salt, some type of medium of exchange. They're going to have some type of marketplace as well. Okay. So when we look at all these different great African civilizations, so this is in our history. Okay. Now, if we, and those who just joining us, I'm Michael Imhotep, host of the African History Network show, founder of the African History Network. African American business owners, post name your business here in the thread of the broadcast, and email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. Our current promotion right now is buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Buy 1 month, get 2 months free is our current promotion for limited time only while we have inventory. Email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. We take your 30-second to 60-second commercial, put it into the rebroadcast of my daily show. And then it's also in the audio podcast version of my shows. So we're on 10 different audio podcast platforms: iTunes, iHeartRadio, FM Player, Stitcher, Castbox, FM Podcasts. And we reach thousands of people with each episode. Okay. So email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. We can get you up and running today. Now, I want to go back to this here. So we have the Colored Farmers Union, and there's a good article from Vice.com that deals with some more of this information. And this article is from 2016, August 9th, 2016. I want to focus in on page 6 of this article. You can read the entire article. It's called How Black Co-ops Can Fight Institutional Racism. And it's an interview with Dr. Jessica Gordon-Nembhard, who wrote the book Collective Courage. Okay. And she's an expert on cooperative economics, about the ways that African Americans can join together through a capitalistic enterprise and create social change. It's a really good article from Vice.com. Now, there are other articles, interviews with her as well. News1.com has a good one also from a few years ago. But if I want to go to page 6 here specifically. Here's a picture of Dr. Jessica Gordon-Nembhard, but I want to focus in on page 6 that starts with how do co-ops function in a capitalistic system? Here's the cover of a book that I just showed you. Her book is fantastic. Like I said, this type of information, I learned this in business school. In business school, we were taught white business principles. This is her book once again. And I interviewed her back about 2014. She was speaking here in Detroit. So I interviewed her and got her book and read articles about her. And I was blown away by the information, because in my research dealing with African history and African American history, that's how I really learned about the co-ops, but not so much so in business school. Now, and let me see, I'm going to blow this up here. So how do co-ops function in a capitalistic system? Okay, this is the question she was asked. And when, you know, in school, we're taught basically white capitalism, but we're not taught about how the ways that African Americans historically fought against that, and how a lot of our businesses were either structured as co-ops or belonged to co-ops. So she said, we have examples all over the world, and sometimes how that looks is it's a small enterprise that allows smaller individuals to compete. It's a small enterprise that allows smaller individuals to compete. She said, take a group like Land of Lakes, which is one of our largest agricultural corporations. She said it is actually a cooperative of dairy farmers that all own Land of Lakes together equally. And Land of Lakes buys its milk and products, all the dairy and Land of Lakes buys its milk and produces all the dairy products. So the co-op has factories, does all the production, does all the manufacturing, handles the business side, that frees the farmers up to do their dairy farming, knowing that they have a market. okay, that frees the farmers up to do their dairy farming, knowing that they have a market. And when you look at the co-ops, especially from an African American perspective, you see them implementing Ujamaa, the third principle of Kwanzaa, the third principle of the Nguzo Saba, collective working responsibility. Now, individually, they wouldn't be able to afford a production plant or afford all of the advertising individually, but owning it all together, the individual farmers can now afford to compete. All right. So she was asked, what role has cooperative economics played in Black communities in the U.S.? Okay, Dr. Jessica Gordon Nembhard said African Americans have engaged in some form of collective economics throughout our entire history in America. And you look at the Free African Society, there are numerous examples of this. Okay, oftentimes we're not taught to focus on that and like connect all of this together. Okay, but there are numerous examples of this. Now, she says sometimes it was tilling kitchen gardens on Sundays when we were not working as enslaved people and sharing the produce. Sometimes it was putting in dues to bury loved ones. Okay, because and you're going to have the mutual aid societies and the benevolent societies that are going to raise money to bury African Americans who have died and they didn't have life insurance, things like this. Now, by the 1700s, 1800s, we had more formalized systems of collective economics that were more enterprise driven, like insurance companies and collective farming. Eventually, we had collective grocery stores, credit unions, and healthcare. Europeans eventually recognized the model around 1844, and it formally came to the U.S. It formally came to the U.S. African Americans then started forming official co-ops in the 1860s and 1870s. By the 1880s, labor unions were actually helping workers to start their own co-ops, and African Americans were involved in that too. And we know that labor unions are going to become really big after slavery ends, like the National Labor Union founded in 1866, American Federation of Labor founded in the 1870s, right around 1875. And a lot of these labor unions that white people are founding are designed to lock African Americans out of the skilled trades, because there are at least 262 skills, trades, and crafts that we had in this country from 1619 to 1865. Okay, so as long as we were doing those jobs for free, it was okay. But after slavery ends, now we can compete for these jobs, and this is something that the Freedmen's Bureau, the U.S. Freedmen of Refugees, the U.S. Bureau of Freedmen, Refugees, and Abandoned Lands, the Freedmen's Bureau. One of the things that the Freedmen's Bureau was doing was helping African Americans negotiate labor contracts, okay, after slavery ends. So it becomes a problem because our skill set was as good as many white men, in many cases better, okay, because we would have had a monopoly on the skilled trades during slavery. Okay, now that we can compete for wages, now it's a problem. Now, by the 1880s, labor unions were actually helping workers to start their own co-ops, and African Americans were involved in that too. And we know that the Industrial Revolution that starts in the 1790s in Manchester, England, we know the Industrial Revolution is going to cause the need for organized labor. Okay, and these are the labor unions also that were fighting for better working conditions for white people, especially white people working in the factories, because the factories were unsanitary. They didn't have the 8-day, they didn't have the 5-day work week. They didn't have the 8-hour work day. You didn't have child labor laws, things like this. Okay, so this is something that the labor unions are going to, and the whole labor movement is going to help fight for. Now, she was asked a question, did co-ops play a role in the civil rights movement? Did cooperatives play a role in the civil rights movement? Okay. She said it was what I call a silent partner to the movement. This was done by African Americans partly to survive outside of U.S. capitalism, which was so exploitative. It was also a way to create independence and wealth so we could be more politically active. All right. So you're going to see it play a part there as well. So read the rest of this article here from vice.com. This is how Black co-ops can fight institutional racism. How Black co-ops can fight institutional racism. This is from April. This is from August 9th, 2016. Okay. And this is an interview with Dr. Jessica Gordon Nimhard. This is from August 9th, 2016 from vice.com. All right. Okay. So once again, African-American business owners, email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. Our current promotion is buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Current promotion, buy 1 month, get 2 months free. And regardless of what type of business you have, it could be an e-commerce business and or brick or mortar store. You may sell African cultural products, African American products, African American cultural products. It could be clothing, hair products, health and beauty products as well, shoes, African garb, books, especially books for children are really big, but history books, you may have a company where you sell African history books, African American history books online, or you may have a bookstore. There could be books of fiction. You may be a book author yourself, self-help, all different types of educational books, financial literacy. Education is really big. Homeschooling. You may own a homeschool. You may have homeschool curriculum. A lot more African-American parents are homeschooling their children as well. You may teach about financial literacy. There may be events that you want to market, okay? Whether events for Dr. King Day, African-American History Month, Juneteenth, Women's History Month, etc., conferences, seminars. You may sell jewelry, African jewelry, etc. You may have fitness websites. Email us at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com. ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com, and we'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. You can also visit our website, africanhistorynetwork.com. We're on 6 days a week, basically Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time, and then also on Sundays as well, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So visit our website, africanhistorynetwork.com also. Okay. All right. Look, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world. Hope everybody has a prosperous 2022. Okay. Happy New Year to everybody. And I'll look for your emails. Talk to you next time. Peace. Remember, right now is correct. Wrong behavior is not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time.
Mental health and well-being have long been a taboo subject in the so-called African American community. So I enlisted the help of mental health experts, thought leaders, and activists to help kill the ghost of Willie Lynch and heal from post-traumatic slave syndrome.
We experience trauma a lot of times on a subconscious level. So sometimes something happens to us and we know that it's traumatizing, but we don't really recognize the extent of the trauma.
Kwanzaa is coming, and the KwanzaaShop.com has all of your Kwanzaa needs. Order your Kwanzaa set today, which includes a kinara, candles, a mat, a cup, the African American flag, and a basket. Visit the KwanzaaShop.com, the KwanzaaShop.com. They have Kanara sets, which include a candle holder, candles, a mat, and a cup. Kwanzaa is December 26th through January the 1st. Add the early bird discount code for 10% off your order placed before November 28th. Visit thekwanzaashop.com and place your order today. Thekwanzaashop.com has all of your Kwanzaa needs to celebrate this African American Pan-African holiday. Thekwanzaashop.com.
Soul in Motion, celebrating 38 years in the arts. This energetic ensemble of dancers and drummers was started by percussionist Michael Friend and is led by choreographer Associate Director Pam Lassiter. Based in the Washington, D.C. area, Soul in Motion is now accepting bookings for Black History Month, Juneteenth, and summer festivals in 2022. Soul in Motion is also available for more intimate events like naming ceremonies and weddings. To find out more or to book your date, call 240-452-1349 or send an email to info@soulinmotion.org. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Soul in Motion, celebrating our history, our culture, our future. Soul in Motion. Theater, African dance, and drumming since 1984.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest Black-owned streaming television network in the world. Bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our stories, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30 plus channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
Gain knowledge in minutes from insightful summaries of progressive and socially conscious books. Blacklisted gives you access to curated content that'll satisfy your curiosity to learn and understand different perspectives. Empower yourself through inspirational and actionable ideas. It's easy to read or listen to on the go. Blacklisted. Empower yourself. Start your free trial today.
Are you getting ready for fall or winter? We have the solution for all seasonal clothing needs. Comedicwear.com is the go-to online source for Comedic African fashion and lifestyle products with a contemporary twist. We're committed to offering unique styles reflecting our African heritage. Comedicwear.com is inspired by ComedicScribes.com to influence our people in learning and showing pride. Please visit our website at comedicwear.com.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality of life. Hustle Her Hemp is the new Uprise.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
iRedify is a Black-owned digital platform that showcases Black and Brown cultures and people. The books on the platform are written by African American authors, Afro-Caribbean authors, African authors, and so much more. Kids 14 and under can read ebooks, listen to audiobooks, and complete learning activities. Kids can even write in the books digitally. Get unlimited access to everything on the platform for only $8.99 a month at iRedify.com. Sign up for your membership today. Come and travel with me to a time long ago and place far away. You will experience high adventure and excitement. You are fighting alongside an ancient army in fierce battle. Feel the exhilaration of struggle and final conquest. My name is Menenkere, and I am both a prince and a priest in one of the most advanced civilizations humans have ever produced. I want you to ride with me in my chariot as I slay the barbarians who have come to invade my land. I invite you to sit at the conference table with the great Pharaoh Taharka and his ministers as they plan intrigue and use subterfuge to outmaneuver and defeat the enemy. Come back with me to the land of your ancestors, to the beautiful land of Kemet. So open the pages of this book and begin the adventure. Find out what happens in the book Menenkere Battles the Assyrians in the Nile Valley from author Makari Jones. Get your copy today at Amazon.com.